Hey, Matt, you haven't said anything about my long arms recently.
I've been admiring them, man, but I'm kind of getting used to them because the fine folks at Mack Weldon clad them in such beautiful long-sleeved shirts that, it's become a given about you, Mac.
They're pretty long.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. You know, Macaulay Culkin was in Home Alone. He owns the Elephant Man skeleton, and he wears beautiful long-arm shirts from Mack Weldon.
Yeah, no, it's very Page Master-esque. Is really what it is.
And if you guys want to be like the Page Master or Macaulay Culkin in general,
yeah, and who wouldn't?
Head over to MackWeldon.com and you can actually get 20% off your purchase if you use the promo code EARS at checkout.
How do you spell that?
Spell that EARS in the Queen's English.
In the Queen's English, yes.
So if you want your arms great like Culkin, or if you want underwear or other great clothing that Mack Weldon make, go to MackWeldon.com and use promo, but use whatever you want, guys. But make sure you type in EARS for 20% off.
Yeah, for all your chromosomes.
Thanks, Mack Weldon.
Thanks, Mack Weldon, for the free stuff.
Bind me, gag me, take me to the bunny ranch. People dying, kill me in the packing house. Even you.
Hey! There you go. It's not an episode of Bunny Ears if Macaulay Culkin hasn't burst your eardrums out in the first 30 seconds.
This is my voice.
Buddy.
All right.
We're getting word from people.
Is that how this is going?
Yeah. Oh, this is that podcast.
Wow.
Speaking of which, welcome to another edition of Bunny Ears. I am, of course, Matt Cohen, and we are joined by our illustrious host, whose name no one can pronounce. Give it to us.
Mechaleka Sawa.
Sawa this week?
Yeah.
You're not even going Clarklin or Culklin?
McClucky McCulkster.
Devin McCulkin.
Fair enough.
Mason McClacken Happer.
Mason Gamble
Mason
II.
Gamble Culkin.
As you can tell by those other two voices, it is a special edition of Bunny Ears. Once in a while, folks, in the podcast realm, a group of individuals come together. I'd like to call a super group in the vein of Camp Freddy or Oysterhead, if you're a fish fan.
Or Season of Rockstar.
There you go.
Chicken foot.
I really like
Chickenfoot.
that show. I think I was like part of the minority.
I saw a poster once in Penn Station that I didn't know what Chickenfoot was, but it said Chickenfoot, and then it said Rock's best foot is its chicken foot. That was the slogan for Chickenfoot.
They spent days thinking of that.
You want to put your best
worked
foot
for
forward?
me.
Down in Cabo Wabo.
Who are these two people you hear that are not me and Mac? How would you even talk them up, Mac?
Mindy
Do they
Cohen.
need an introduction? It's Mindy Cohen.
Yeah, it's Mindy Cohen and friend.
Yeah.
Nancy McKean and Mindy Cohen.
And TBD friend.
It's
And
the
you know,
pod of
Joe,
life.
I really think we've got something to talk about.
No, I mean, gosh, they speak for themselves. I mean, this is Dr. Seth Green and,
PhD.
Breckin Myers.
Esquire.
Yeah.
Esquire.
I'm glad we both got there. And Mac, you've known I know these two dudes. I know these dudes, but you've known these dudes a lot longer than I've known these dudes.
Well, I've known Seth since technically the 90s.
It's true.
It was the end of the 90s. But
Was it the end of 98 or was it? It feels like before 99 because we knew each other in 99, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So it's like the end of 98 we met.
You guys are dating
And
yourselves.
Breck and I just heard about each other for a
We
long
just
time.
heard about each other a lot through Seth. Yeah.
So
Mac
he
and I
he
were
was
just
about us.
he was the
staggeringly
winter
young when we
me
met.
and I was the summer him.
That's true. I was able to split my lovers between the coasts.
At some point we were like, we're gonna meet and we're either gonna love each other or beat the shit out of each other. And it was both.
And the answer is yes.
And the
Yes.
answer is yes.
That's what you need, folks. The spice of life, as it were.
It was cute watching you both get a little jealous of each other before you actually met. Like and I didn't even think about it. I was just like, wow, wait till you meet my other friend. It's going to be great. And both of you were like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Who's that other
Yeah,
guy?
really looking forward to it.
Yep. Been hearing about you, haven't I?
Was it love at first sight between the summer and winter friends, or did you guys have to work through it a little bit?
It was fine. It was
Like you guys were in love
It was
before you
like
met.
at first sight.
Yeah, it was like at first sight. It was fine at first sight.
That developed into
And then it developed into something
into
very
the
strong,
burning passion.
very powerful.
Yeah, yeah,
It, it definitely flowered.
the Hurricane Sandy of emotion.
Is it this kind
It's
of
that kind
podcast?
of. It's Mac's podcast. So what do you
I'm
think?
rubbing off on Cohen.
I'm learning to speak in
Oh my
Culkin
God.
voice. Yeah,
Dude, Does anybody, or we just like fuck the ironic interpretation and let the chips fall where they may?
This podcast comes with an apology ahead of time.
Always. Yeah.
A hard disclaimer.
Clearly. We can also, all of this might be edited out for all we know.
Yeah,
So.
but views and opinions are solely Macaulay Culkin.
Speaking of which, Harry's Razors. Harry's Razors.
Dude, I don't joke because we might literally have done a Harry's Razor ad on this show. Don't give them free space, man.
$razors.com are the best razors.
When Mac and I met, it was as comfortable as Tommy John underwear.
Mac, what are those delightful Bombas socks you're wearing?
I love that you guys both know all of the podcast advertisers. No one's been like Coca-Cola. You're all like really nailing the actual ads we're probably reading
Man
on the
groomer
show.
When you talk about Patreon and its need for independent support.
Anyway, LegalZoom.com is really blowing off.
Oh, man. I wonder how this is going to play.
Really good, I'll
yeah,
bet.
Good. You're going to get all these Casper mattresses for free.
And you know they come in a box the shape of a mini fridge.
I didn't even believe it, but it's so comfy.
I just threw my
The
old
last
mattress out of the
mattress
street.
you'll ever buy.
If you drive down the streets of Los Angeles, it's just discarded mattresses from satisfied Casper owners. Or Lisa, we don't know.
Thrown out in spite. Fuck, with fuck this mattress spray painted across it.
Watch this segue. Where did you guys first meet, Mac and Seth?
Me and Mac, this
Nailed
is a
it.
really
Thank
fun
you,
story.
On a mattress.
Yeah. On a Casper mattress.
Casper mattress.
We were
While
at a
eating some Blue Apron.
Craftmatic
Yeah,
convertible outlet, and we were just a bed apart from one another, and we both rose to a particular incline and said out loud in unison, "This is my sleep position." And then,
What's your sleep number?
you remember? And then I looked across the store and I was like, is that Mason Gamble?
Lindsay Wagner walked up with a knife in her hand. And she's
A
like,
young
stay out of my
Jodie
territory.
Foster was laying on the bed beside me.
No, we were. What was it?
This is the bougiest sounding
I know.
real story. Like the
I
real
know.
story is so
Yeah.
bougie. So our mutual friend Sarah Michelle Gellar was hosting Saturday Night Live.
Here, hold on, let me pick up that name. For
Oh
you.
no, I dropped the other one because
Oh,
David
you know who drops-
Boreanaz
yeah.
was with me.
You know who drops names a lot? Nicholson. Go ahead.
You dork.
And so, Mac went to school with Sarah, and I've known Sarah since we were little kids doing commercials in New York. And
The shocker that is that Mac went to school.
Mac went to
I know,
school, yeah,
right?
at least a percentage.
Oh,
of
we've
it.
learned about. Oh, we've gone through. We've covered Mac's school years on this podcast.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You're surprised how much you're the same. Well, that was it. We were sitting at a table, Sarah's table, and I was like, "Oh, I know you. Let's go get a drink." And then we walked to the bar together because that was the most romantic way I could get in there.
Getting Mac a drink.
Let's get this guy liquored up. Hey, you look like you're vulnerable to alcoholism. Let's do this,
Folks, if you want to
nuts.
strike up a decade-long friendship with Macaulay Culkin, just buy him a drink. Apparently,
Pretty much.
Apparently,
Pretty
well,
much.
I think we knew.
Oh, and also have a mutual friend that's Sarah Michelle Gellar. Right?
Didn't
Yes,
hurt.
that
Didn't
helps,
hurt.
yeah.
Sarah's
Yep.
really trustworthy and a good judge of character. So if she stayed friends with somebody, they're probably pretty cool. And then that was it. I always liked you from a distance and thought you were cool.
Same, and I always liked you. We both said exactly that.
Literally
So,
that.
yeah.
And then I said the thing about when you dyed your hair purple, it made the paparazzi lose their fucking minds, and how much
Is that
I
why
appreciate-
you dyed your hair purple subsequently? Because you did at one point, right?
I love dyeing my hair, and I think deep down, I wouldn't say I'm a punk rocker because but I really like all the ethos of punk rock, right? So
Tourist.
yeah. So
Says the
So that
Avril
was it.
Lavigne of punk.
yes. Fuck you guys. Well, that was it. I said to Mac, I thought that was really funny the way you made the paparazzi lose their minds just by dyeing your hair. And
Yeah,
you
and then-
said something like, "Oh, you like that?"
Yeah, you like that, do you?
Yeah. And then
We're off to the races.
Well, it wasn't until like
Party Monster. We
Yeah.
started kind of talking about that. They brought up your name. They,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, no, fuck that guy, but sure.
That's what they asked me. They said, "Would you fuck that guy?" And I go, "Not on camera."
Just what's his sleep
Just
number?
standard role getting fucking. You were
No,
down
it was
for.
it was like
And so
just
there
a
you
couple months after that Randy Barbado and Fenton Bailey, the guys that directed Party Monster, invited me to a meeting where they asked me to play James St. James, and they told me they wanted Mac to play Michael Allig, and what did I think about that? I'm like, A, I think that's brilliant. B, I fucking love that kid. I'll bet we would make a good movie together. And then it was like 2 years developing it. And in that 2 years, he and I just got together all the time and hung out. And we talked a little bit about the movie.
Yeah. It's kind of just more hanging out, really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a lifelong friendship was started. Theoretically, I guess you guys your lives aren't over yet. So
No,
it could all
no.
go to shit.
I don't know.
Day ain't over yet.
But I'm not trying to quit you.
I know the day isn't over yet.
Let's flip this. How did you? So you guys. So that's one half of the spooky trio over here. How did you two first meet?
Yeah, I don't
Breckin
think I
and
know
Seth?
this one.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Oh, this is the great.
that's sad.
I remember how we became tight, but I don't
right.
remember how we.
This is very funny. So Breckin, obviously, we were in similar categories as kid actors, and we're up for similar stuff. So I was well aware of him, especially starring in shit like Freddy's Dead. And he
Nice.
dated a girl I went to school with, and then came to my house for a Halloween party. And it was the year that Paul Rubens had been arrested, and he arrived at my door in one of those super shitty plastic tarp with a half face mask, Pee Wee Herman costume with handcuffs on. And I was like, I think I love this guy. Like, this might be my new best friend.
And that man was
And
a
then-
young
That was
Jodie
actually
Foster.
Paul Rubens.
That was where that was where we met, and then we became tight because I had broken up with a girl, and it was one of those relationships where you cut everyone off and it's just the two of you. So when you break up, you have no one. So I was outside a bowling alley talking to a security guard because that was the only person who would hear my tales.
Just conversating.
I was literally, and by the way, I didn't know the guy, so I'm just sitting there. He's got no choice but to sit there because it's his job. So I'm just talking his fucking ear off about, life's tough, man, and blah blah. And
That's so Bukowski, and you didn't even know it.
I didn't even know it at that point. And then Sethy walked in because he was gonna go bowl with a group of.
A friend of mine was having a birthday party
He
there.
had like friends and stuff. And he goes, "Hey, you want to come in and bowl?" And I was like, "Oh, that's different. That's not talking to this guy anymore." So I went inside. And
But you went to a bowling alley by yourself, though?
I wasn't bowling. I was just sitting outside talking to the security
wow,
guard. Yeah,
so that's
You were
very,
really at that point.
yeah. It was a definite shame.
That's very
spiral.
specific.
You don't know teenage Breckin.
Yeah, no,
Well,
I
and
was
I don't
in,
want
like,
to
a
give
shame
too much
spiral.
away, and if we need to edit this out, we can. But I learned something about Breckin that has become my favorite factoid about Breckin of all time. Did you sleep in a coffin at one point, dude?
I did. For many years, I slept in a coffin. From like 14 to 18, basically.
Did you wear eyeliner also?
No, I wasn't like an emo cat. I just liked vampires and I like being nestled. So
See, I am also a nestler. Like
Yeah.
I always wished that I could build like a partition, like a little, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
a metal box around myself to
Get like swaddled?
So I get the instinct. I think it's
so
just
I wanted
amazing
a
that you had the
coffin.
follow through.
yeah, I wanted a coffin. I wanted a lid and everything.
Those
so,
things
yeah.
ain't cheap either.
No, so I slept in a coffin for a while. But
Did you close
yeah.
the lid
Oh
at
yeah,
night?
yeah. And the first night, my older brother sat on the lid in the morning. So when I woke up, I would think I was buried alive.
Yeah,
Wait, this was
scratch
while you-
marks on the inside
Yeah,
of it.
exactly.
This is why you were living at your parents' house?
Oh yeah, my dad.
Was he
Yeah.
cool with you guys?
Yeah, my
sleeping?
dad was like, "You okay? Yeah,
Yeah, I
you can
support
have it."
this.
My dad is a hippie, and he was like, I don't want to, I don't want to shut the kids, imagination down. So he let me sleep in a coffin.
You sure you don't want to go bowling, son?
Exactly. So I'll always be high on the list of the strangest place you ever had sex conversations.
Nice.
But so I was at the bowling alley, and Seth was.
Wait, you also
with-
had sex in said coffin?
I had
Is
sex
that the
inside the
implication?
coffin.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So,
With the lid closed?
With the lid closed.
No, it was a different coffin.
It was a bunch of coffins. But then Seth was one of the guys she was bowling with was this dude who was presently with my ex-girlfriend. So I was like, oh, I can't be here. This is awful. And I guess Seth either just picked up on it or was done bowling, and he was like, you want to just go play pool at my house? I got a little pool table. And I literally stayed there for like
Several
3
days.
months. I mean, I didn't leave. Also, the thing is, Seth had a washer dryer and I did not. So, and he had hot water, which I did not. So I could, I could bathe every now and again at Seth's.
Breckin would skateboard like 20 minutes to my house with
I
a
would
pint of ice cream.
Skateboard from right near here.
Take a
actually.
shower.
Right, yeah.
And then sit on the couch and eat ice cream while we watched like different strokes.
Yeah, and that
It's
was
greatest.
that was my rehab for getting over this girl was staying at Seth's for like 3 months, and then we
Started a band
collecting
together.
People. Yeah, we started the band together, and we would just collect random orphans.
What was the name of the band?
Belly Room?
Belly Room.
Belly Room.
Yeah.
Like the Belly Room.
Like-
Yeah,
Yeah.
like named
Yeah.
after the belly room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is any of that music available online or anything?
No.
Thank God, no.
Are we putting out an EP?
No.
Bunny Ears Records?
Nope.
Mac, you want to Put your Rick Rubin touch on this.
I think by the rate
crazy
of
for this
general
one, man.
degradation, all of our master tapes are probably worthless. I've still got.
By the way, even if they're pristine,
know you still have
they're
them.
still worthless.
I've got
know you
some
still have
output, but I need to drastically remix it and also do
Re-record
things to my.
it,
Well,
and we
no,
need
I
to
would
redo
never
the
just
whole
have like a. Why wouldn't put that much effect in it? I would only want the lasting record to not be as embarrassing as it is.
Well, you were a singer-songwriter, right?
Yep,
And Breckin,
yep.
what'd you play?
I played the drums.
Oh, he does. He plays
and-
drums really well.
Yeah,
Mickey
I
Dolenz,
drum.
alright.
I mean, it's funny because
I don't think.
Sethy was
No,
the
wait,
yeah.
Breckin.
Was your
Breckin,
go-to Mickey
Yeah.
Dolenz?
Can I drop some
Best
of
drummer ever.
the names of the people that Breckin has drummed for, from Tom Morello to isn't Navarro?
Yep.
Yeah.
Played with Navarro.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Perry
but,
Farrell.
Yeah, all through
Sarah Michelle
all
Gellar.
because of Tom Morello. I drummed with some pretty impressive people. But the funny thing was, we came up with this idea to just have a band because we were bored, and you know, Seth,
like
Seth
music.
didn't play an instrument, so he was the singer. Like it just worked that way.
We
And,
just
it was fun.
hung out in rehearsal spaces and then
We'd play Pearl Jam covers, and then
I was just saying,
eventually-
it sounds like it was angsty. Was it,
It was,
angsty?
the word indifference was in a lot of songs. Yeah.
as angsty as could be. We were like 17, 18.
Super angsty.
I love that everyone here. You obviously Pizza Underground and some other things, and you guys had Belly Room. My one musical experience was I was in middle school. My friends started a band, and I had zero music ability. So call this stereotypical if you will. I was the manager. I was like the Brian
You're the
Epstein.
Alex Cabot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. I was like thinking up slogans and T-shirts and stuff. The band couldn't play a single fucking song, but I had like a binder. I was dedicated to that.
Yeah,
life.
working on merch.
We were.
Yeah. I was, man.
Yeah,
The Living Dead
Wow.
was the name of the band.
All right.
And then later there was another band called Burnt Toast and Jam that I tried to get involved with, but they wouldn't let me.
Yeah, if you
They
can't
saw
play an
your
instrument, you either become the lead singer or the manager.
Exactly. Yeah. You guys need a roadie? They're like, no,
We
we're
played
not
a
even
bunch
a
of
real
shows.
We did.
Like
We
I
played a
got
few
us booked
shows.
at a couple of gigs, and we were terrible.
band. How was the response from the audience?
Well, it was around the time that Rally's commercial was out, so the biggest show we played was at this surf punk festival, and
Cha-ching.
7 or 8 people in the
Just
crowd
yell
realized
out
I was the
Cha-ching
cha-ching
the
guy.
entire time.
And there's
so they
no
wouldn't-
fucking comeback for that.
comeback
There's
from
just
that.
nothing to say when
Well,
they
we
yell out
played them
cha-ching.
Blake's song about like fucking the girlfriend.
Ain't no mic.
We played. I don't think we played.
Was it
I don't know
Mic?
the this is for my one night stand. Yeah, that one. That.
Okay, one night stand.
They loved that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's what it's called.
Warren, also we should say Warren is our listening audience. Warren, if you're not familiar with the cha-ching thing, rather than tell the whole story, just Google
Google it.
Seth Green and cha-ching.
Cha-ching.
Oh yeah.
It's
Especially
a wonderful slice of
cha-ching,
Americana.
New Orleans. That's where you really get a sense of how weird it got in my
Yeah,
real life.
That was a Super Bowl, yeah.
It's
It was
it's
the
that Simpsons
wild card
episode. I didn't do
playoffs
it.
to the
Look
Yeah,
at
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do it, kid. Well, I luckily had the wherewithal while it was happening to have seen things like that in real
Yeah.
life to know that none of this was real.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, wow, I'm the fucking cha-ching guy.
This is gonna last forever.
Greg and I are sharing
We're
this.
sharing
Yeah,
on
they're sharing
earbuds.
it.
We keep just ripping it out of
It's
each
the
other's
podcast
ear.
equivalent of Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of adorable.
I just want them to Eskimo kiss.
They're
hate
talking.
this.
Yeah, they're talking cheek to cheek. you know?
But it was funny because Seth and I for so long were. I'm so sorry. I mean,
We were serious about it, though. We were
Yeah.
actually like very, very serious about
Yeah,
it.
earnest.
But also just auditioning in life and stuff. Like again, I knew of Seth because it was him or I for so many gigs that we had. You know what I mean?
We
Like,
became friends at one point and then auditioned for a show at the same time. And this is where I learned like just how cool and classy you were, because we tested against each other. Like the two of us tested against each other. And I wound up getting that one. And you were so fucking awesome about it. You were just like, you made me feel like I could be a better person with those kinds of competitions. Like
Yeah,
it
it
really
was-
wasn't about any kind of competitive things and something I was going to get, you weren't going to get.
And
vice
it's also, if
versa.
you don't get a gig and the guy who does get it is great, you're okay with it. You know, you might be like, that would have been fun, but at least they got a good dude, as opposed to like, they got fucking that guy.
That's what
Come
you
on,
wanted.
that's
Like,
what
yeah.
they wanted. Yeah.
It's like
I
when
was
your
giving you gold, and what you really wanted was turds.
It's when like your girlfriend dates like a douchebag afterward. You're kind of like that.
Right,
That's what
that-
you wanted.
But isn't there also
think
kind of
we
a
can all
solace in that
relate to
almost,
that.
where you're like, if
Yeah.
you wanted,
Obviously, I was right about her.
yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Yes,
Oh.
exactly right.
I was exactly. I was never going to be a right fit for the show
But
if they wanted to hire.
I remember.
Oh, she's got a club foot. She needs special
Devin
shoes.
Sawa.
What was it? Oh,
Devin
it was,
Sawa. I was going to go. Who's the kid from Home Alone? Not Home Alone. That's
Macaulay
you.
Culkin.
Jonathan-
No,
Lisa Taylor Thomas.
I'm right
Joe
here.
Pesci.
Married with Children. Faustino.
David
David
Faustino.
Faustino.
I was like, because you guys probably went out for that, right? No, I'm kidding.
Jamie Kennedy.
Did you test for Married with Children?
No, Married with Children was happening while we were doing Facts of Life. So
You were on Facts of Life.
I was on the
news
last
Facts of Life,
the
right?
last 2 episodes of Facts of Life, which were a backdoor pilot for.
I
the
learn
show.
new things about my friends every day.
And that was with Juliette Lewis, right?
Yeah, with Juliette
Yeah.
Lewis, with Mayim Bialik.
of 40 Licks fame, another actor, musician.
Mayim Bialik.
No, Juliette Lewis.
Lewis.
I don't know the Mayan Bialik.
But I think like I remember auditioning for Austin Powers. Seth booked it, and then when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." Yeah, no, I didn't get it. He got it. You know, what I mean, it made sense.
I mean, I
then,
can see like age-wise and just like everything, like stylistically.
we were
There's
just
a Venn
like we were
diagram.
like yeah,
like
we
a-
were like the offbeat stoner.
You guys had
guys,
your
if it
stoner
wasn't
runs
him.
there, right? Yeah.
The affable bad influence, like
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but like the charming, nice stoner.
Yes,
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you don't necessarily want to kill this person, but you probably don't want to take whatever that pill is he just gave you.
Yeah, the stoner you can take home to dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this your dad? Hey, what's up, man?
up?
Great to meet you.
Just- it
Oh
was
my
maybe-
gosh, I love that tie.
It's just Seth and I doing shitty Keanu Reeves impressions for the first like 10 years of our careers.
Oh, I now need to. I will never think of Clueless without
It's
thinking
exactly-
of Keanu Reeves
I
in that
just
role,
Stole everything from Bill and Ted.
or that X Files episode.
Oh yeah, jeez.
That's my favorite Seth Stoner. It's just dude in a van in the middle of like a culvert.
You know what's so funny is I hadn't even smoked pot yet when I
When you did that X Files
X-Files,
thing.
Same. When I did Clueless, I had never smoked weed. And everyone afterwards coming up to give me weed, and I'm like, "No, I'm good." And they're like, "Come on, don't be
That's
a
not my
dick." And I'm
thing,
like,
man.
"I'm not, dude. I don't do it." It was Seth, me, or Ethan Embry were like,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
stoners. That was
But
it. If-
post Dutch Ethan Embry.
Yeah, post-Dutch.
Because pre Dutch Ethan had
Ethan
that
Randall.
like
He
too.
was Ethan Randall.
Well, sure, but like too sweet to be the bad kid.
Yeah.
He was like the prissy.
But then
good
Empire
kid.
Records, he came out with a vengeance. As a stoner.
I love Ethan.
Yeah.
He's so fucking good, and I can't hardly wait. Like I watch his performance, and
Yeah.
that always just breaks my heart.
And that thing you do,
I was
his
just,
TB player.
yeah.
yeah, no, I was just about to say I did a thing. There was like the shootings in Paris, so you couldn't leave your apartment. So I did like a movie marathon.
Yeah.
And watched Can't Hardly Wait. It was Vegas Vacation.
Oh, you've seen,
It
Mac,
was
you've seen my work.
Ethan Palooza.
that thing you do, and
Nick
all of a sudden I was
Papagiorgio
like,
from
wait
Yubo.
a second, I'm just watching Ethan Embry movies.
You weren't doing it on purpose.
No, not at all. It was just all of a sudden I noticed like 4 movies in. I'm like, wait, I'm just watching
I
Ethan
might be
Embry.
addicted to Ethan
Your,
Embry.
I just
so
love that
good.
your way of coping with tragedy was to dive into Ethan
Just
Embry.
right into Ethan Embry movies. Like, it was
a happy place.
Yeah, I just steered into that skid. You know?
It's been fun watching him get older too. Like his head shaved, he's got a big beard, and he put on like 25 pounds of muscle. Just looks like a.
Yeah, he's on Frankie and Gracie, that Netflix show
Yeah.
with Lily Tomlin, and he's really good on it too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's terrific.
Shout out to Frankie and Gracie.
I like that you don't name check Jane Fonda though.
Yeah, fuck
just Lily Tomlin.
I don't
I'm
support her
still mad at her.
politics. Yeah.
I'm still not
there was a
over
photo
that.
Shit on the
that,
tank, I'll never forgive her.
Exactly.
Sorry, G.I. Jane. I'm not buying it.
Listen, we all of us were just in Thailand recently. We're working. You guys were working on another movie that's pretty exciting that we've mentioned on this podcast before.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Changeland.
Changeland. I love how demure and humble you get when we're talking about your movie.
Well, I don't. What am I?
Oh, you're so
There
pink.
was no question.
No, we were just having a conversation. So we were. So
Yeah,
you.
no, we're just talking about like we had some time.
Yes,
really
what
like
you're
something,
saying is
guys.
accurate, man.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We were all
So,
out
yeah,
there together.
I had this realization when
Indeed.
we watched the movie together, like just among friends, and that's that I'm gonna be really bad.
At talking about the movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Here's your training wheels, bro. At least you could do it in a safe environment.
Yeah, sure. No, that seems reasonable. We should talk about
That
it.
is that is probably the 4th or 5th movie you and I have done together, which means we're really close to being the Coreys at this point.
No, because they tandem starred. If we do this
if we do this a bunch,
if we do this other-
the other
if we do
Thailand
these
thing, yeah,
yeah.
Just movies in Thailand.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
you were
the
the
whole time we
Coreys,
were
but
making the movie
specifically
in Thailand, we were like, oh, it's so easy to make a
do
movie
another
here.
movie out here.
What kind of movie could we shoot in
Yeah.
Thailand? and we're working on
But this
it.
is the first time Mac and I had ever played together.
Yeah, it's true.
We'd played together, but we never acted together.
Yeah.
How did you enjoy
Well, I'm
it,
sure he
guys?
loved it.
I loved it more than anything in the world.
Yeah.
Consummate pro, right?
Oh yeah, no,
It
totally.
was good. We had a blast.
We tickled each other's beeholes.
You guys are both like
We had a
kid
lot of
actors,
fun.
really good at all of the stuff. So
We're actually not in a ton of scenes together. Actually,
no,
to be
we
honest.
have like 3 or 4 scenes together.
What's amazing is I just realized
Someone's
it's,
on the cutting room floor.
it's kind of the kid
my
actor
fault.
movie.
I play me.
a little bit.
Yeah, because it's there's Mac and
Yeah.
Seth and Breckin and Brenda Song, who was a kid actor. That's funny. I never thought about that till now.
Yeah.
You're like, it's like the island of misfit toys, but an island in the middle of Thailand. And
It's
not
also
misfit toys.
it's not from a director's standpoint. It's just stacking the deck in my favor. It's like I know that I've got limited resources and time, and who can I guarantee? in
Which
these
friends can I
roles?
call?
Well, yeah, who can I
show
get
up.
for this rate at for this duration? Who I know is going to give me the goods in like if we only get 2 takes, who can I count on?
So,
You know
what,
what I
so
mean?
what is Changeland, man? Like, I think because we've talked about it on the show, but we certainly haven't given up the goods yet.
I think I'm really bad at explaining it too. Like it's a story about a guy who's in crisis in his relationship and takes a trip he'd intended to fix their marriage with an old best friend that he comes to realize he's been estranged from.
An adventure ensues.
Yeah,
Mayhem and
it
Hilarity
is. I
and
mean, it's really
adventures.
like meant to be just a little bit about life and how hard it is or how easy it can be, or that I think the real point is that it's yours, for me at least, that your life is yours to do with as you will, you know? So
yeah.
Meet some girls. Meet a drunken boat captain.
I've definitely had people tell me that all they want to do after they watch it is take shots and go to Thailand, and I'm like, mission accomplished.
Well, I was going to say, why Thailand, man? Because
You're
when
welcome.
I like to travel, but Thailand is certainly, I'd heard of Thailand, I'd like to say, but
Sure.
it wasn't on like my list of like, oh, that's a place I have to go to, right?
Me neither, and everything I'd heard about it was somewhat disparaging.
Sure,
like,
right?
That it was dangerous or that it was dirty.
Ladyboys and
Yeah, just whatever it was, that it was unpredictable. And
Also, we should just say the Ladyboys thing is A, accurate, and B, they're delightful.
yeah, not even an issue. It's such a nice place to go with
a
an
non-issue.
incredible, like, just an unbelievably gracious people. So my friend Dan Ferguson and I have been traveling around for a long time together. We'll take like really far trips and go do, stuff that we wouldn't necessarily do on our own. And he put together this 5-week trip that started in Amsterdam, went to Kenya through Tanzania, and like across the
Tanzania.
Tanzania or Tanzania?
They say Tanzania.
I was going to let him have it, you guys.
I wasn't
They say-
sure. I mean, it was a legitimate question.
They say Tanzania.
I say
well, they were there-
sabotage.
You say sabotage.
What would they know?
You know, the Tasmanian devil.
Tasmania, we love you. We do this thing on the show. Australia,
Tasmania.
you know your issue. Excuse me, Tanzania. You're a great place. We'd love to visit you, but work on the pronunciation of your name.
Yeah,
so we're
sure.
adding that to our list, Mac.
Get that
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
We've got Australia now.
Fuck Australia.
Not fuck
South
them.
America.
Just work on the racist
I
shit.
mean, exactly.
South
Well,
America,
so-
stop kidnapping people. Florida, we had that
And
discussion.
Tanzania, work on your name.
Let me cut to the chase. So we went to Serengeti and then from there to Dubai, from Dubai to Thailand.
Wow.
Yeah, Dubai.
Dubai.
They pronounce it
They
Dubai.
pronounce
Yeah.
it Dubai.
We were only in Thailand for like, Dan says it was 6 or 7 days. It felt like 10 days to me. But it was probably only like 5 or 6 days. And between on that, and then we went on from there to Micronesia. But
The Federated States of
Yeah,
Micronesia.
not only is that a real place, but you've been there. That's pretty
Yeah.
trippy.
It's also
crazy.
tiny.
it is really little.
It's so much smaller than the Nesia.
You can see both sides from the middle. But of all of that travel that we did while we were in Thailand, shit just kept happening to us that felt cinematic. It felt like a movie. And all the pictures I took of the place, I was like, this is unlike any other place I've been on the
And
planet.
it is a fucking trippy place. Like, I mean, you guys were there much longer than I was, but like, Mac, what was your experience? We haven't really done this much. What was your experience in Thailand, man? You hadn't been there before, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, I was.
If what you're asking is, Mac, what's your hotel room like?
Yeah, I
he
was
can
gonna
tell
say,
you.
I didn't really leave the hotel. I drank a lot and I got laid. Yeah, woohoo! See, we're gonna cut that out.
Lived at the resort.
I already knew.
Mac, what was your experience like
Speaking
in
of the
Thailand?
speaking of the ladyboy situation, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was like, yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Like,
You know,
A,
yeah.
it's true, and B, they're delightful.
Yeah, they're totally delightful.
Hey, Mac, what kind of experience did you have in Thailand?
Yes, I did.
It's great.
Great, man.
Well, we were
Fantastic.
working 6-day weeks. So
Yeah,
we had
no.
1 day a week off, which does not leave a ton for touristy
And
travel.
we shot all day, and it was a hard shoot on boats,
On
in the
boats, right,
sun,
yeah.
lots of dialogue.
Yeah, once we got to co-PP, I was working pretty much every single day, and both of
we-
you
yeah.
were working every single
but
day.
there was kind of a compound summer camp vibe
Yeah.
in the sense that all of our hotel rooms, kind of except for mine, looked out onto each other's.
I did that on purpose.
Yeah,
bro.
Seth knows me very well.
You're welcome.
And but so
he
there
just
was
wanted
this-
to talk to the security guy the whole time.
Half the crew had only heard legends of Breckin Meyer. They
Yeah.
didn't even know he was really there.
There he is.
But so they would,
is
we would
real.
have this, we would
They
have this
do
fun-
exist.
We would have this fun summer camp vibe of sitting around the pool, but it was like our own little pool with each other, goofing off, and then we'd go to work. And the good thing was, that was kind of our rehearsal time as well, which was getting to know each other. I didn't know Brenda really. I knew Mac, obviously I knew Claire, but we didn't know the two Brits, which Rose and Kedar. And so that was like our kind of crash course in getting to know each other and being comfortable with each
Yeah,
other,
being
which is
comfortable
important.
and warm. Yeah.
Yeah, which is important when you're doing an indie. You don't have a ton of money, as Seth said. 1 or 2 takes, so you want to already kind of get the kinks out beforehand. I think that was one of the good things we had.
Yeah, we should say the other cast: Claire Grant, Kedar Williams Sterling.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
And Rose Williams.
And
Also Randy Orton.
and the Apex Predator / the Viper. We have a wrestling contingent on the show. Randy fucking Orton.
Randy motherfucking Orton.
We never got RKO'd. He promised it to
I
us.
know.
Oh man, we shouldn't even talk about it too much because we have to pull that.
I
pull
really
that
want to get RKO.
I've mentioned in the
super
last
wants
in
to
the
do it
last
to you,
week
Matt.
in the last week
Super
I brought
wants
it
to
in
do
the
it
last
to you.
week I brought it up to Randy. Like,
You know
hey,
what
man,
it
was
is,
at
man.
RKO? It's
We'll get
Christmas.
to do something else with the company that includes like some on stage stunt, right? And while we're in setup, we'll make it happen.
Get RKO.
Hey, Randy, it's Christmas. Mac wants to get RKO'd.
So this is Christmas. Here's your RKO. You can tell we would have sold millions of records.
Yeah, you were a lead singer right here.
Yeah,
Changeland Christmas album coming soon. Yeah.
you earned it.
Oh no, it was trippy, man.
You earned it.
So like
Dork,
we
I
talked
heard
about
that.
it a little on this show, but like that island was overrun by cats in a really fucking crazy way.
Yeah, well, Kopi P, yeah.
Kopi P specifically.
here's the
Although
thing.
Mac pointed out very early on. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
that's all good. I don't like cats.
Yeah,
And
they're not my
Sethy
fave.
loves cats. Mac was a fan of cats.
Mac
I can
adopted
say-
one.
Yeah, based on what was his name?
LB.
LB from Little Balls.
The sweetest cat. He's
and
in the
Probably
movie too.
Probably gave me that worm.
I guarantee he gave me that one.
Yeah, he was,
He's
he was the gift that
in
kept
the
on
movie
giving.
too. In the
yeah?
credits, yeah, in the credits,
Oh.
me and Breckin, there's 2 cats that represent us. One smacks the other on the nose. The other one, and I was like, oh, that's LB. And that was that other white cat that was such an asshole.
That
Like,
chilled in
remember that
LB's
white cat that was
territory.
like, man, fuck your food.
Yeah.
There were cats everywhere. You go back to your room and there's just a cat waiting on the sill, and he's like, either let me in or I'm coming in. Doesn't matter.
They told us at the desk that each one of the buildings had its own cat, and the cats kind of like adopted the buildings, and everybody fed the cats. But Mac was quick to point out there's no old cats on this island.
Yeah.
No.
They're all very young cats.
Yeah.
Me and
Implies a high mortality rate.
me and
It's
Claire
like Logan's
saw,
Run with cats.
Exactly.
Carousel.
A glowing like crystal. ball.
I like to think they've been exiled a la Judge Dredd and are just on a farther part of the island wearing like robes.
You mean like the Monkey Island part of the island?
Oh goodness. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we haven't.
Because apparently you can hike there, Matt.
Yeah, so I had a traumatic experience in Thailand, and I don't think we've talked about
Totally
this on this show.
self-induced. As
Oh yeah,
well.
yeah. Oh no, it was. So I had all the best.
Would it be weird if
intentions.
while you were telling the story, I went to the bathroom?
No, go for it, man. That wouldn't be weird. It'd only be weird if you announced it. We could have sold that audio magic that you were still here.
Seth Green's dropping a deuce.
So
Let's go on.
To sum it up very quickly, Breckin said like they were working 6-day weeks and I was hanging out on set, and I was like very quickly I was like, if I want to do Thailand shit, I got to get up early and get some Thailand shit in. So I was like, there's an island with monkeys near where we were, and there were kayaks, and I was like, I'm doing this. So I got like my waterproof phone case. I rolled 2 joints. I was like, we're gonna kayak out
You
there.
know, all the stuff Bear Grylls says to do before you get in a kayak.
all of the safety checks. I had a life vest on. I get out into the open waters. Everything is beautiful and peaceful. Both joints immediately get soaked, and I was like, here you go, Neptune, and I threw them in the ocean. They were fucked. And then I realized I was in the open Indian Ocean, and I get very seasick. So within about 5 minutes of leaving like the most tranquil beach in the world, I was like, it was like white squalls, and I was literally screaming to the sky like, God, if you save me, I'll believe in you.
Oh, goodness.
I did a lot of like bargaining and a lot of weeping and spinning around, because it was that thing where like I would paddle twice and then my canoe would spin in a circle like 4 fucking times. I should preface this with when I got
Because you're a city kid too, man.
yeah, I've never been on a fucking kayak.
Yeah.
When I got on that kayak, the guy was like, "Just you?" And I went, "Yeah, is that a problem?" He went,
Not for me.
he went, "You look strong." I went, "Yeah, I'm strong."
Maybe for the kayak, you know.
So the moral of the story is, after about like 25 minutes in open ocean of crying and screaming and getting seasick, I finally made it onto this beach where I like collapsed onto the sand a la Castaway and immediately lost my sunglasses and my e-cigarette.
Okay,
And-
just for the record, that's not a moral of the story.
Yeah, you're right.
That's the end of the story.
The moral of the story is I don't belong on fucking kayaks.
There we go. It's closer to home.
But yeah, I arranged for a rescue boat and
How did you arrange for a rescue boat?
so my phone was still working, and here's what I did.
He prayed.
I got on this.
Aquaman came out all high from the joints, and he was like, "Follow me, bro."
I got onto this island.
Momoa Aquaman.
Yeah, exactly. I got onto this island, and there were like dudes who worked on the island. I think they had
It's
like
kind of a park. It's a quasi-national park.
yeah, you
connected
shot
to-
there. Yeah, right. And I was like,
Well, the one around from it, actually. Not the.
I said, I'm very, in the broken English, in my English, I said, I'm very sick. I can't get back on this kayak. I want to die. And they were like,
We can kill you.
we got this, bro.
first thing they
Our
did.
prayers have been answered.
First thing they did was, unbeknownst to anything, brought me a cigarette and a can of Pepsi, like a weird offering. And I did both for them.
Sugar
Good.
and
Yeah, yeah.
drugs.
And then I was like, when's the next boat come? And they're like, oh, there's no boat coming.
Yeah.
Weren't there other tourists on the
There were
island, though?
hundreds of other tourists on the island, but the problem was they got there on kayaks. and then
Hundreds.
At that point, I had disowned kayaking for the rest of my life.
So you were just gonna move on the island.
never join you.
I lived there, so the first thing I did was I asked them.
This is my home now.
I started like hyperventilating, and I said, "Well, can we call the police?" And the guy looked at me and went, "There is no police."
Yeah, this is Thailand.
Yeah.
It's Thunderdome,
We
bro.
govern our own shit.
I then called my dad in New York, who was like, "Matthew, I can't help you. I'm like 80,000 miles away, and you just keep saying Monkey Island."
That's my favorite part of the story, by the
the
way.
first person I called for
Called
help was
your
my
dad.
dad. Yeah, I didn't know what to do.
I can't help you, son, because A, I'm in New York, and B, you're 35 years old.
And see, all you're saying is Monkey Island.
Exactly. And you threw out my 2
The
goddamn
best part
joints.
was, guys, he Googled
You
Monkey.
threw out your inheritance.
He Googled Monkey Island and kept going, Matthew, it's a video game.
He's not wrong.
He wasn't wrong, because it also wasn't
Did
called.
he think you were on acid
I
and
think
like
at that
stuck
moment
inside?
he was confused. So what I then did was I called our friend Corey Musa, who was a producer on the film, and I basically said,
Probably should have been the first call.
yeah.
A local.
nearby.
And guys, I am like a quarter mile away from him, and you guys were literally
You
on the
can
beach.
wave
We were
it us.
filming on the dock while that was happening.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah.
I could have waved.
That was when we were on Ian's boat at the end of the Blue Dock.
Oh, right on.
And I said, Corey, basically, here's my credit card number.
It's around the cove.
Figure out a way for a boat to come save me, and a boat that can then haul a kayak.
Gave him your credit card number.
I mean, I don't know how it got paid for. I'm very happy that I got saved.
We had an emergency contingent
All
for
right, good,
those kinds
good.
of frills.
I thought you did. and I
Visa
felt
will
really
take
bad
care of
about
everything.
it.
Plus, our Marine unit was active that day
All right,
because we were
thank God.
technically in
Thank
the
God.
water.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Because I'll give you. So when the Marines got there to pick me up, I wanted them to think that.
And
like,
you mean Marines? Like
Yeah.
we
Straight
had
up.
Thai Marines.
Yeah, so, a
who
boat-
are bad motherfuckers.
a boat
too.
finally showed up, and someone was wearing a crew shirt, and I was like, my savior. And in that moment, I went, okay, I need these guys to think that they were actually saving me from something and that they didn't waste their time. So the second I got onto the boat, I fake fainted.
Oh no!
Like I did, I like collapsed onto the cushion, and I started like, "Oh, thank you, Captain, and I just started pulling wet bot out of my pocket and handing it to people.
Yeah.
And then I got back and went to breakfast like everything was fine.
Yeah, excited.
I think Breckin was there.
I
yeah.
didn't hear the story for
I didn't
days.
tell anyone because I was really
For
embarrassed.
days.
I didn't hear the whole story till just now.
Me too.
Yeah, I was pretty embarrassed about the whole thing. I mean, there's also minor details. Like when I finally got to the island, I was like, all right, I'm here. Let's see a monkey. I saw one monkey, and that one monkey ran up to a little girl in a hijab, stole her can of Sprite, and shotgunned it with his teeth. And it was like the universe being like, "Here's your fucking monkey, asshole."
Monkey
Yeah.
jerk face.
Also, about
Those monkeys were so serious.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I got a Vive. I got a VR headset a few months back, and I was like, "Oh shit, let's go to Koh Phi Phi on Google Maps and let's relive it." And in doing that, I realized that wasn't an island; it was attached. And at any point, I could have just walked. I could have just walked
There's
back
a
to
hike,
the fucking hotel.
It's not an island; it's a peninsula.
Yeah. Someone was like, "What was it called?" And I went to the Wikipedia, and it said it's accessible by land or kayak. And
You were basically at the Thailand Grove, and you just had to turn around.
Oh, there were Russian tourists. I was in like hysterics, you guys, and there were just dudes like chain smoking Marlboro Reds and staring at me.
It's
was a good
definitely
time.
a lesson in making sure your kid is exposed to adversity young.
To kayaks.
You know what I mean? So that you feel more comfortable problem solving without calling your dad.
calling your dad. And it was a good lesson, literally. And then my dad was like, "Do me a favor, don't do this shit to me anymore," because I'm like old. And
By the way, even if you explain it further to your dad, there's no fear. It's like, Dad, I was marooned on an island with hundreds of tourists
for like a half hour, and like
And one monkey.
and one monkey with Sprite.
yeah, that was the toughest moment of my life, you guys. That was my life or death moment.
It's been a good life, bro.
I knock on wood. Yeah.
Water's no joke, man. Breckin was with me like the first time I had a real panic in water. We were out scuba diving in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And we had
How old are y'all?
Probably 20.
like 19,
Yeah, 19,
maybe.
20.
And I had already been like close submerged. I'd done really basic scuba with a line and with like a captain, but this guy was gonna have us get geared up in the water. And it was so choppy, and the
Just
water
for fun.
Yeah, just for fun. Well, no,
Because that's how he gets his sick kicks.
We had both a weight belt and a like a balance buoy, so you could like regulate your own descent and stuff. We had the tanks on us, and I was trying to get the mask on, and the water was so choppy that it just kept hitting me in the face over and over again, and it just kept hitting me in the mouth, and I just kept like swallowing water. And I'll never forget this because Breckin looked at me. He's only like 10 feet away from me, and he's just got his gear on, and it sucks, but he's got it. And he looks at me, and he's like, "You okay?" And I just went, "No."
And it's so strange because your entire life you go, I don't know, whatever. You go skating, you go skiing, whatever. You go to your buddy, "Hey, you okay?" And they're either like, "I'm good," whatever. But when you hear, "No, I'm not okay," and you're in the ocean, I'm like, well, I guess that's just you then. You know what I mean? Like, that's the end of you.
I'm going to get back in the boat and
Yeah.
rethink this whole thing. And I did. I stayed in the boat.
Did you text your dad?
No, he takes Matt's dad. He called Matt's dad. He's like, "I'm totally safe, but I'm terrified."
Then he called Corey Musa.
No, I watched Breckin and the dive guy below the surface having a hilarious time with the squid.
Yeah, we went scuba diving.
What did you do with
and
that squid?
No, don't worry about it. It's all good.
But
But we
That's
also
between
went.
me, the dive master, and the squid.
But we also
I've
did. We
gotten
went
back in
scuba.
there
We
since
went
then.
skydiving, and Seth got back at me because he had this guy.
Not on purpose.
No, he had this like amazing movie montage experience with this incredible tandem skydive instructor, and I had this Nazi scumbag.
And if you watch the video of
We have
you guys
video of it.
driving out to the launch site, you can see this guy's not okay.
This guy's awful, and so in the videos are literally like Seth has like lovely music playing as he's sailing down, watching the clouds. My guy knocks my goggles off as I'm standing on the wheel of a plane. He knocks my goggles off. He starts doing barrel
rolling.
rolls on the way down. So I'm now dry heaving at 15,000 feet.
Well, and then
floating
my
down.
landing.
It's cut to Rammstein.
It's pretty. It's pretty insane. My landing. It's the most gentle.
Oh my
the
God,
guy
it's like he's landing
fully
on
flaps,
pillows.
fully flaps, and so we like edge the last bit and just like walk right. And I see Breckin come down like this.
And I just
So
hit
hard.
I hit the ground, my knees buckle, and the guy, and I'm like, and he's trying to smile, and he's like, "That was fun, right?" And I'm like,
Breckin
just like
literally
unfucking
says-
buckle me, man.
I walk right up to Breckin and I'm like, "Yeah," and he goes, "Get this fucking guy away from me."
and the guy
Get this
yells at
fucking
me
guy away from me.
afterwards, and he unbuckles me, and now I'm free from him, and I'm staggering away, and the guy just goes, "So we are not soft eggs, right?" And I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah, fuck you! Like, I don't know what that means. I'm not a soft egg, It was the worst.
It's so shitty. My video of us in the air, I'm like, "Wow," and the guy is like, "Look over there." We're both like, "Wow," and in Breckin's video, Breckin's goggles are like crooked across his face. His hair is in
And
his
the guy's
eye.
barrel
The guy
rolling.
hits him in the face, and then the guy is looking at the camera going,
Yeah, he's just like this. Yeah, he's just like, you smell like a Jew. Enjoy these barrel rolls.
it was so bad.
Mac, you might have answered this by the fact that you didn't leave your hotel room once in Thailand. But have you ever done like fucking daredevil-y stuff, like skydiving, bungee jumping, that sort of thing?
You and I did that leisurely inner tube down the old irrigation channels in Hawaii.
Yeah, sure. That's
2 years ago. Do you remember that?
That's hardcore.
Not the least hardcore.
The first word you said was leisurely.
But it,
And
but
inner
it,
tube.
but it was, well, I just think because there were so many strangers there.
I jumped out of a plane on an inner tube. Yeah.
It was a daredevil stunt for Mac because it was in public in front of people.
It was outside.
Everybody was like live streaming from their fucking GoPros.
But no, I mean, I do stupid shit, but I don't really like.
Would
yeah,
you ever skydive?
Sure. I mean, I was supposed to, and then I overslept. There was that one day, but yeah.
I feel like that's the reason for a lot of things not happening
Yeah,
in your
right,
life.
in my life. Yeah. Hey, listen, I made it here today.
Exactly.
didn't I?
Very
You
happy
went with
about
us in the helicopter to Jurassic Park.
Sure, helicopter ride. Yeah. I bungeed out of a helicopter. No.
I will not do a bungee cord, guys. That's not my shit.
It's the snapback that
Yeah.
freaks me out.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Have you guys
with
ever
the,
done it?
I've done like those sky coaster things in amusement parks where they drop you from a bungee.
The free
jump.
fall kind of
Yeah.
thing,
But
yeah.
I've never done like off a bridge or anything. Have you?
I did.
Was it cool?
It was fun. I did it once, and then I was like, "Oh, I want to touch the water," and the guy's like, "No problem, mate." I was in Australia, and so he's like, "All right, let's do it again." And so this time I touched the water, and you go head first in the
I was just
water.
about to say, how like you probably
You
went
then
up to your
have
chest or something.
And then you have to come out of the water, so your nose gets a fucking enema. And immediately I was like, "Oh, terrible idea." It's salt water.
Because you're expecting to kind of just touch your fingertips
Yeah,
on it,
let me
like
just- let me just
delicately.
caress
You
the
think your
water.
hair is gonna go in and it's gonna
Yeah.
do like the Daryl Hannah thing when you
Yeah.
come back
This
out?
water's almost 30 feet deep. We can get you at least 6 foot in there.
So I went down to my waist, and then I was
Full toe dope.
immediately regretted it.
That seems to be the place to do shit that nearly kills you.
Australia?
I base jumped
Yeah.
off the Sky Tower in what's it called?
Wait,
In Wellington.
Dubai? Oh,
Wellington.
I thought
Did
you
you
were
really?
like,
Yeah.
did you really?
Yeah.
I don't remember knowing
They have a
that.
controlled descent, like they put you on the counterweights and you're cabled up, and so they'll let you just like jump off, and then they slow you like less than 20 foot from the ground, so you have an Iron Man landing.
How long does it take you for them to like pull you back up after
No.
a bungee thing?
Well, the
just in
bungee-
general.
The bungee thing's like the crane I was on moves you over to the beach and lowers you. That's the worst part. Is once you bounce,
No, because you're just
then
dangling
you're just like
upside
now
down.
I'm just dangling waters in my brain,
Upside down.
just upside down. So that's
that's a nightmare.
probably a minute, but it's an awful minute.
Yeah, gotcha.
Like I think of like Shark Tanks. I go like, no fucking way, not a chance. I'm doing that. You know what I mean?
Dan Ferguson and I did a Shark Tank in Hawaii.
How was it?
Terrifying.
Yeah, like in
Did
a,
your product
in a
get
fun
sold?
way.
No.
Oh, not Shark Tank.
Hey, did you change lanes?
Your,
The
your
water-
estimate. Your
the water was murky, right? And so they're chumming the shit out of it. And Dan and I are just looking like, I don't see anything. You got the gear on. You know, you're only like
It's
10 foot down.
murky.
And then all of a sudden, you're like, is that a thing? And within seconds, a shark is flying at the cage. And then they just, like, as hard as it just, and then just over and over again, like,
trying to murder
you're just
you.
like, oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's just like they don't do
And
that.
then
with
another one shows up, and it's just like, "Hey, get away from my food!" And they're like mad at each other, and just like put the cage over and over again. Fucking
They
terrifying.
don't do that with like lions on. They don't do that in war zones. It just seems like an equivalent of like imminent death chasing you.
Yeah,
but
Yeah,
in
when
the
we
water.
went on safari, we
Like a
were
lion
so
cage.
quiet and careful, and like in the Jeep. When our guy has a gun just in case anything
Yeah.
happens.
But that's
we,
for him.
Yeah, yeah.
He only has to outrun you.
I tried my best, guy. Shotgun in his own
Just-
mouth.
I apologize.
I'm so sorry, I failed. What accent was that?
No, it's the
Definitely
perfect,
wasn't.
perfect accent. It offends nobody.
I think it works exactly.
Tanzanians?
What was it?
Tanzanians?
Tanzanians?
Yeah.
Tanzanians, probably.
I hate learning that shit I've pronounced my whole life is wrong. Like, and again, a lot of these are from fucking Long Island. Thanks, Long Island. But like, we all say Oregon. which is apparently not what that state
Oregon.
is called. Yeah,
Oregon.
my entire life I've called it Oregon, and still remain and refuse to change it, even though I know it's proper.
Dick move.
It's a dick move on my
Strong
part,
way
right?
to
Yeah.
neg people from
Oregoni.
Oregon.
Being willfully ignorant.
Slowly
Yeah,
keeping
yeah.
those Oregonians down.
It's a real mindfuck when you just think you have the world figured out, and you're like, "There's a whole state I got wrong."
Yeah.
There was a moment where you thought you had the world figured out.
Ish.
Come on now.
Impressive.
Usually about like 16 or 17.
Handful of mescaline, and I thought this is exactly what it is.
It's 2004 summer fish tour. A lot of
A lot of people at that
yeah,
fish
but
concert
acid in
thought-
my eyeball from an old man with a feather hat on.
This will be good for your son.
Yeah. I trusted him. He had yellow teeth.
You want to know how to figure out the world?
And I don't mean yellow like decayed, like bright
candy
fucking
corn.
yellow.
Bright, fun
yeah.
yellow.
It's like did you dye your teeth?
Just soaks it in Mountain Dew at night, kind of thing. You know, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. How was it? So we said you guys hadn't ever worked together, in all three of you in one capacity, right?
The
Was it-
Stooges over here.
I
Well, it's
was great
different
by
also
me.
because Seth is directing as well, so he's wearing 4 hats at that point. Mac and I just got to show up and, again, not bump into the furniture, so to speak.
What was it like wearing all those hats, dude? On a serious level, you know what I mean? Because you've done a lot of shit throughout your career, but this was the first time.
How often did you cry? Like alone
Daily.
at the end
By
of the
myself,
night in
yeah.
the shower.
Yeah.
Holding his knees.
Every night.
But like
Every
some happy tears too, though, right?
Yeah, you saw me.
Yeah, buddy.
Probably the drunkest I've ever been, and I had
rap
I had an
party.
amazing explode. Well, because at the end of the rap party, we've had this incredible experience of, like, everyone has come together to make a thing that I felt in my heart pretty convincingly, and that in itself is overwhelming. And then, plus, you're at the end of it, and you get like the end of summer camp feels of saying goodbye to everybody. And I drank 2 full bottles of whiskey then.
Pretty
That
much, yeah.
was really
I was very
nice.
proud of you, bro.
That was a strong show.
I was back in Los Angeles at this point.
You were.
Yeah, no,
You got on a speed. You literally had.
You
a
literally got on a
speedboat waiting
speedboat.
I got
for
on, me
you.
and Randy got on, me and Mr. Orton got on a speedboat together and got
He had
down
work.
there. He had work
Have
to
fun
do.
at the rap party, guys.
Although
Blue.
you had your kids, that's fair.
I had children. He had work.
Thanks
I
for the
had
movie.
kids.
Bye.
Yeah.
Coriolis effect of his voice trailing off. Yeah. Have fun at your rap party.
Just kayak it back.
The thing I would do different, though, it was really genuinely difficult. I didn't realize how much I do as an actor in between cut and action. You know,
Like in terms of preparation and stuff.
yeah, just like, oh, I absorb that take we just did, and here's a different way I'm going to do it, or here's a better way, or here's a more correct way to do it. So I didn't get to do
That contemplation.
I didn't get to do that basic
Because you're doing the
work.
technical stuff,
We're
too.
just in the thick of it, and I got to give everybody else their thing. And so I
And
really
80% of the crew doesn't speak the same language as you, which was also kind of an amazing undertaking. Yeah.
Well, it felt like I could have done more work as an actor to be better prepared in those moments so that my own performance doesn't suffer by that obligation.
But we also say,
So
even
talk some
though
more
we-
shit about yourself.
Even
Yeah, buddy. You want to be a little more self-effacing?
Go on.
Pitch us on this movie.
Well, other than that,
How do you feel about your first date?
Well, other than that, I was surrounded by my favorite people and like a dedicated crew that was
The crew was- I mean,
tirelessly committed and
speaking little
really, really
English
talented.
still was they were unbelievable.
So much
And
fun.
they're awesome.
So
Like,
good.
so I had only to lift what I had to lift. You know what I mean? And I knew everybody else was there to pull their own weight. So it was amazing in that regard.
Awesome, man. And folks definitely be on the lookout for Changeland movie film.
Changeland.
Changeling the movie film.
Yeah. And you'll,
The story of Jeff Changeland.
you'll
Jeff was just a normal guy until one day, wow,
Devin Sauer.
why didn't you cast Devin? So it came down.
He's unavailable.
It came down to Mac and Devin.
busy.
Right?
We tried to
Yeah.
get him
No.
over and over and
We
over.
should say we've talked about Devin Sawa on this podcast a lot. You were in a fucking movie with Devin Sawa.
Yeah.
Who would win in a fight, Mac or Devin Sawa?
right
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
Right now.
I go Devin, man.
You know, the thing people don't know about Devin is he's like 6 foot. So he's
know.
got,
Oh, I know that. I've done my
He's
research
got
for
out
this
now.
fight.
well, he's got a real long reach.
Yeah, he's filled out.
And he's
like in a good
also
way, yeah.
he's also got this wild element. Like the Devin Sawa I knew went for it so hard on this movie. I think he's brilliant in our movie.
I love
Like,
Idle
the,
Hands.
The movie's
yeah.
a comedy, but he doesn't get credit for how detailed his performance is. Like he he does a like a fucking amazing separation of personality between what's going on in the rest of his body and his hand, which sounds silly, but try and do it as convincingly as that.
So he would win in a fight.
So yeah, I was gonna say. So me versus Devin Sow's hand.
Well, I give him.
his hand would
I
kick your
give him.
ass.
I give him the reach, but people don't know. People don't know you, Mac, and the Mac that I know, A, is relentless, and
fights dirty.
and B, has studied shit like biology and anatomy, and would like just do
just
shit
go for the
you
balls.
wouldn't expect. You just do shit you wouldn't expect, and I think Devin would be like completely. I think Mac would get in there faster than Devin could think about it, and then he would do some crazy shit that shocks Devin to the point where he recognizes the reality of the
I'll
fight.
do a
they're in.
crowdfunding.
I was
right
just going
now.
to say, guys,
Just to
there's
say,
only
Breckin,
one way
how
to
do you
make
feel?
this happen.
Dude,
We
you've
go
been
on
biting your tongue.
Kickstarter. Yeah. Remember when
Celebrity
Danny
boxing?
Bonaducci was fighting like Screech?
Yeah, but-
This is the A-list
But
version
that's
of
like
that.
that's like gloves and stuff. I'm talking like in a real
Hands
fight.
dipped in glass.
Yes,
Exactly.
The gray
In
rules.
like a-
yeah, you have to have little mini
rules
liquor
like-
bottles.
I've got a certain set of skills.
I want to see Devin and Mason Gamble and Mac all in
a three-way.
Yeah, like a Royal Rumble type
Yeah, yeah.
situation.
Weird desires you
can
have.
make
Like
that
I'm not
happen.
trying to
Yeah.
desire shame you,
I've
but
thought about that a lot.
Desire shame.
I've thought about it a lot. I have a lot of fan fiction I've written about this. It's really deep in me.
Note, the following episode was recorded before the podcast launched. How's that for a twist, Warren?
wait, have any of the, have this? Have you guys put any podcasts out? Like,
No, man. We
Not
are
yet.
we are
We're
in
banking.
the ether
how do
right
you
now.
have the fan, or is that like your? Is that like your?
We're just planning on having somebody
we're,
listen.
We're assuming
that.
that one person will
Name
listen,
Warren.
and that
Name
person's
Warren.
name is
It will be
Warren.
Warren.
No, man. In our minds, this podcast has taken over the world at this point.
Yeah.
We have a theme park dedicated to it
It's like
with its own changeland section.
let's say hi to our friends in Japan.
Yeah, we'll have a first
Yeah.
look for with Fox also at this point.
We should obviously
The most successful podcast in years.
Yeah, exactly.
the podcast that has literally aligned the planets.
And or it's one of those like
The
fucked up
Wild Stallions of podcasts.
It's a Twilight Zone scenario, and you go to like you go like, oh, that was a great podcast, and you walk out, and there's just posters of Mac lining downtown LA and like a really communist style propaganda. Like we cut to the day this podcast airs, and
Obey. you know.
exactly. Everyone has to wear bunny ears that have like chips in them.
I just forgot we were wearing bunny ears.
Heck
We
yeah,
always-
that's the,
yeah.
that's the idea.
That's the bunny ears promise, guys.
See, that's why it just sinks in.
Becomes part of you.
Yeah, it's an extension of yourself.
the bunny ears promise is you have to wear bunny ears.
You have to wear
to.
bunny ears.
Yeah.
Today
And
in
I'm
history, a
reluctant to
law
wear
was
bunny ears
passed.
usually. I'm usually reluctant to put on the ears.
You
I
put
know,
on a
but-
really great pirate outfit for my birthday, though.
I did.
That was
You did.
I was very excited.
And you
about
won
that
Best
pirate.
Dressed, if
I
I-
won
if
Best
I-
Dressed
if
for
I
that
remember
pirate outfit.
correctly,
I was
yeah.
very proud of that pirate outfit.
What'd you win?
A ribbon that says Best Dressed that I actually gave to the lady at the costume shop.
Oh, nice.
Did you really?
I brought
Oh,
it back and gave it to her.
that's actually really cool.
You guys can't see it right now, but Seth is checking his text.
Well,
that's how much he doesn't give a shit
That's
about
how
this
engaged he
podcast.
is in this. Sorry, we're not
Sorry.
You've been on a lot of pods before.
I'm not
right?
married to any of you, and so I looked and saw a text from my wife, and I checked it.
So you're trying to say you want to get married? Is that
Yeah,
what you're-
buddy.
We've, by the
You're
way,
trying to say
we've
there's
been,
back-
we've
there's
been
back-
with you
I have
longer,
been
by the way.
pushing the brother, husband, sister, wife scenario for a long time.
You heard it here first, folks. They're just like us. They marry all their friends regardless of sex. Breck, you just got a dog, man.
I did.
It's a really cute
Oh,
dog.
no.
What kind of dog
Yeah.
is it?
It is a mini Labradoodle dog.
It looks
She's
like
very
a cat.
cute.
It's
She's a
got
bitch.
cow coloring. I
It
would
has some
say.
cow coloring.
How old's the little
She,
sucker?
She's 4 or 5 months old right now.
We're all animal people here. Seth, you have your cat
Cats.
family.
There's a million
I've had
cats.
dogs before. I like animals.
How come we don't have a bunny, Mac, like a show mascot?
They're terrible.
I used to
They're
raise
terrible
bunnies.
pets.
They're tricky. They are
Yeah,
tricky.
I got bit by one once.
All
at an
three of
early
us,
age.
you, me, and Claire, have all raised rabbits.
I had a rabbit. I had
You too?
I had Belly. Remember? I had a,
You had a rabbit
I had
named
a
after
rabbit
the
named
band?
after the band, and I got the rabbit.
Oh my God, you named it after the band.
And I had the
just saw
rabbit
that.
for a while, and the rabbit
totally forgot that.
fucking hated me, and not in any biting way. Just like I'd open the
was
cage and it'd be
angsty?
like, "Fuck you," and
I
I'm
want
like,
to get
"Hey,
outta
here's some
here."
food." And it's like, "Fuck you." I'd rather have nothing than have to eat in front of you. So I was like, "All right, you know what I should do? I'm gonna let this thing go in the wild." So I took it to a park in Studio City, and I was like,
The wild
and I
Studio
literally like
City.
had this moment where I was like, "Okay, but gone." And I was like, oh, man. And so I ran into a bush.
Didn't
and I was
even
like,
let you say goodbye.
No, ran into a bush, and I was like, oh, I guess, all right, that's it. And so as I'm just about to leave, 2 dogs tear ass into the bush. And I'm like, fucking serves you right. So I don't know, her belly ended up in someone's belly, I think.
The name was apt. Yeah. What was your rabbit's name, man?
I had a couple rabbits. I had a rabbit named Fred that I got as a like a tiny bunny. And this is back in the days when I was wearing a overcoat all the time. So I
Oh God, were you like trench coat
Kept-
mafia kind of thing?
I was, and I
He was Trench Coat Mafia before
sounds
Trench
like
Coat Mafia.
sounds like me, guys. Yeah, that year I was like, hey, just because somebody's wearing a trench coat doesn't mean they got a machine gun. Say what? And but I kept the rabbit like from the time he was very young in the pocket of my trench coat. I carried him with me everywhere,
Oh,
so
that's
we were
adorable.
like buddies. And then I'd like feed him in my pocket and occasionally like take him out. And I let him around the house. He could just do whatever. And I kept the cage open and he.
How old
figured
are
out-
you?
17.
Okay, so you're like tail into high school kind of thing.
No, this is me out of high school living in Studio City by myself.
walking around with a bunny in your
Walking
jacket.
around with a
Bunny
bunny.
in your jacket. That sounds like like you're going through your
Yeah.
Do you
pocket
think-
watch
do you
phase
think-
or your cigarette kit.
It's true. Yeah, cigarette case full of big red.
Yes, I was just
Yeah.
about to say.
You remember?
Gum.
I've told you about this.
You had a cigarette case full of big red gum.
I got beat up as much as I deserved when
Yeah.
I was young because I was
They were
really
all,
asking for
out
it.
of 8-ball canes. So he got the fucking cigarette case.
No, but here's what's fucked up. At 15, I came out of blind fury and went down to South Street and bought myself a cane with a sword
straight
in it.
up.
Yeah.
Me too.
Of course
At
you did.
fucking the Valley Martial Arts.
Best friends forever.
Yep. When Seth and I first met and became buddies, we were both kind of trench coated, cargo shorts, Nirvana or Pearl Jam t-shirt.
A lot of misplaced anger.
A lot of misplaced anger, and we would roll around with Seth. He had a fucking blackjack like to thump people with in his pocket.
Just in case.
I had a telescopic baton, a la
Which the
Nancy
police
Kerrigan.
the police have adopted. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the best part of this is you also had a very small rabbit in your coat pocket. You were
It's
like
the yin to his yang.
Yeah, the toughest boy gang ever, and their pal Fred.
I was not about to get beat up again.
Yeah.
So when people would try to fight you, you would just hold out the rabbit. Like,
Oh, it's a baby
Or the
rabbit.
blackjack,
No,
either the
the
blackjack
weapons.
or the rabbit,
okay.
either one.
I have a picture of me and Breckin in the old Sherman Oaks Galleria movie theater with our feet up on chairs.
Both
and-
with shoulder length hair, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Greasy as
like
fuck.
weapons on our lap because the guy behind us had been like, "Did you put your fucking feet down?" And I was like, "Oh, buddy."
Buddy, you don't want to mess with this.
you showed it to him?
No, we showed it to
No.
our camera. We just laughed amongst ourselves that this guy didn't realize we had loaded
pre-cell
weapons.
phones and stuff, so it was like, instant
Actually,
a yellow
pocket camera.
Kodak.
You had to develop the picture of you
Yeah.
two in a movie theater
Yeah, yeah.
with like
Yeah.
weapons on your
Yeah,
lap.
that
took
was
30
the
seconds
day-
like to charge the flash.
You know what's funny? That was actually the day Breckin and I walked out the back exit of the movie theater, and Jimmy'd opened one of the doors to the mall supply room and took pictures with all of the holiday decorations.
Yeah, we found all the giant holiday decorations they only bring out, like the giant Easter bunny and all that, and we took a ton of photos of us because it was for us. It
us
was like
with
fucking
Santa's
Narnia,
village.
like
It was
opening a
incredible.
door.
Do you still
all-
have those pictures, or because they were not
Yeah.
digital, nothing
I've
exists?
at
those
least
are
got a
around.
picture of you pulling the nose off that thing.
Yeah,
Do you guys have like extensive picture albums?
Yeah.
Seth,
Yeah.
we took a lot of photos back then. We have.
I was
lot
pretty
of
diligent about making scrapbooks.
Yeah, Seth's a very he's a shutterbug. He's very diligent.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I don't
That's
know.
the best thing is if you have any adventure with Seth, you don't have to worry about documenting it because you'll get a photo album in the mail 6 months later, and
Sorry,
it'll be
guys.
better than anything you ever put together.
I'm late on the change.
And you'll
line,
get an
but-
action figure of yourself, which is also fantastic.
Obi, did you see? I put you up at. Did Sam show you that?
Yeah.
Oh, great. This is perfect. This is the one time of the podcast. Every week we like to talk about something that the audience has no idea. And we're being honest.
Yeah.
We're not razzing.
Well,
So that,
it's
that
like
works.
here's a story of like something that we can't tell on the podcast, so we should talk.
So
about
we're
this
not
later.
telling you who Sam is.
So,
yeah.
so I'm glad this is happening right now because we haven't done it yet. so-
Organically
Oh, we
happening.
can't talk about who Sam is.
Oh, no, now don't leave. Don't let them know. Yeah,
It's gonna
yeah,
wait-
it's
yeah,
true.
the Warren won't aren't allowed
Inside
to know.
information.
That's fair.
Insider information.
It's an Easter egg. You guys got to now figure out who Sam is.
Exactly. So you guys are having the most fun ever on this podcast, I would assume, right?
This is
Right
maybe
now?
the best time ever.
Yeah, right?
This is great.
It's about to get a lot more fun because we're about to get into what is quickly becoming our favorite segment on the
Oh,
show.
no, oh, you want to play a game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I know
gives
that
me such anxiety.
neither of you guys are super excited about it, but
I don't know anything about it.
Breckin's very smart.
well, Breckin, you didn't play this. You
Quick-witted.
weren't there the other night when we played this, huh?
I always leave early.
Never seen this
Sweet.
game?
No.
We do not have a name for this game yet, right, Mac?
No, we don't.
It is that chess clocky game thing.
Although
that
I
we play.
pitched clockwise.
I like clockwise.
This
I
looks
like
this
Clockwise.
looks intense.
No, it's not.
It's just a chess clock. And again, Warren, check out, go on Twitter at Bunny Ears Pod, and we'll post pictures of the clock and
I
what exactly
literally
we're
just
talking
started
What
about.
do we
sweating.
do?
Okay,
Mac,
so
explain the game.
This moment.
okay, so it's like a standard chess clock. So when I hit my side, yours starts going down,
Okay.
and then when you hit your side, mine goes down.
Cool.
So what we do is we're gonna pick a category, something really, really broad, something really, really simple.
Okay.
Like a words that begin with the letter Breckin. No, words that begin with the letter B, something like that, and it can just be any word that begins with the letter B.
Okay.
And I'll name one, and then I hit mine, and then boom, 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 boom,
Okay.
until we run out of time. Whoever runs out of time first loses.
Easiest game ever.
It is really straightforward. You'll see it on its feet.
Okay.
What category should we do? Just any movie? Have we done movies yet?
I think we've done movies in real life. What about, let's do cities. That's a good one we haven't done on the show.
Said we did movies in real life.
Yeah. This is we're entertaining now. This is
Well, no, we'll play.
work.
What should we break?
Any
Should we
city?
have them play against each other, or do you want to play around with them first so they see how it
I don't know.
goes?
Yeah, it's me. We got to warm it up a little
Let's
bit.
Why
do
don't
so-
you play around with Breckin to
right,
get him
so
warmed up, and then I
any-
can ease out of my
Any
anxiety
city,
panic.
any city in the world.
How are you on geography? You're-
really, really bad.
Okay. Then
Okay,
how
then-
about bands?
Better.
Any band,
Band.
that ever existed,
Any
Great.
band that ever
including
existed.
Belly Room.
Okay.
So you start us off. You name it, and then you hit your side.
Do
and
I?
we begin.
Does it have to be a band that starts with a certain letter?
Nope.
Or
Nope.
we're just doing
Any band that's ever
The broader,
existed.
the broader
Okay.
the category, the trickier it is. You'll see.
Okay.
You know some bands.
Well, I'll go. So I hit mine after
you
I say,
say it and hit
Say
it.
it,
Okay,
and then
so
hit
I'll
it.
say, well, as an homage, I'll say Belly Room.
Oh, that was mine. Beatles,
Now, do I have to do anything with the
Nope,
same
just-
letter?
just
any
go.
band.
Nirvana,
Rolling Stones,
Van Morrison.
Jimi Hendrix Experience.
The Experience, though.
yeah.
Black Crows.
Yeah, no solo people. Okay. Counting Crows.
In Sync.
Backstreet Boys.
Okay. Oak Ridge Boys.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
I thought no solo projects.
And the
And the
Funky
And the
Bunch.
Funky Bunch. Okay, sorry. My bad. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Why am I blanking?
See?
on anything?
Because
Okay.
that's the game.
It
Yeah.
gets weird. The Knack.
Soundgarden.
Street Walking Cheetahs.
Wow, look at you. Jeez, the Pretenders.
Mud Honey.
Wow. The
That's not a real band.
Big Brother and the Holding Company.
Okay. Rage Against the Machine.
Limp Bizkit.
Rise Against.
Linkin Park.
Korn.
Good Charlotte.
Bad Charlotte. Oh, shit. Okay. Did I do the Dave Matthews Band?
No. Blondie.
Okay, good. The Stooges.
Ramones.
MC5.
I was gonna say that one too. The Clash.
Oh, Rancid.
Grand Funk Railroad.
Bruce Springsteen, the E Street Band.
Oh. Huey Lewis and the News.
Sly and the Family Stone.
I know that's where we're at right now, aren't we? Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Ike and Tina.
Oh goodness, yeah. I'm thinking of something that's gonna happen.
Okay, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Jackson 5.
Lemonheads.
Oh, the Supremes.
Fuck.
Yeah, see, throw you off your game.
Oh, the Supremes. That's a really good one. Okay. Oh no, it's moving so fast. I don't like this at all.
See?
Oh Jesus. Cracker.
Commodores.
Fuel.
Everlast.
That's solo.
That is solo. Bring it back.
Okay, fine. Everclear. There you go.
House of Pain.
Cranberries.
Cypress Hill.
What was it? Sixpence None the Richer.
Garbage.
NWA.
Oh man. Okay.
I'll
That's
give you
really
band.
good.
I'll
They're
allow
a
it.
band.
That's a band.
They're a band.
They're bandish. Public Enemy.
Did we say the Beastie Boys? Because now I have.
Yeah, you have. Oh man. Doobie Brothers.
Beach Boys. The Doobie Brothers.
Green Day.
Ah, damn you.
Damn
Chicago.
Peanut Gallery.
Oh man. Okay. Shit. How does this get so weird?
Right?
Look at my clock running
The
out.
broad of the-
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Boston.
Kansas.
Damn you. Styx.
Cream.
Black Sabbath.
America.
Alice Cooper is a band. It's not a person.
What is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really?
No. His name is not Alice Cooper.
Kiss.
Ooh.
I still think Alice Cooper's a solo person.
Okay,
Time's running
Just
out.
for the
I
record.
know. I got to do something.
I'm just saying. Technically.
Stop saying things.
Technically, it seems.
Would you
I
quit it?
apologize.
You're distracting
Filibustering.
me.
I'm not.
I see what you're saying. Oh, the Altman brothers.
The Everly Brothers.
Leonard Skinner.
No!
And time. Good
Mac
game.
takes that one.
As my maiden voyage, I
Yeah,
get it.
you did.
did a good job.
You
You
did.
did
it.
it.
You did
So
it
now do
very
Seth
good.
and I
A
go?
commendable job. Now I think Seth plays Mac.
But
right?
you get the broader the subject.
and then we'll do
the trickier it is.
one Seth and Breckin round. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, let me reset the clock.
Quick game. What are we doing, Mac? What are we doing for categories on
I
this
don't know.
one?
What should we do? What are you guys kind of feeling like?
I like city. I like
What's
snack
that?
food.
Foods.
Oh, because that's tough. Because what's technically a
You,
snack?
you start running out exactly like you want it nice and broad.
Colors.
Colors are strange because all of a sudden you say red, orange,
Okay.
orange, red.
Cars. What about that? Cars.
No,
you're not good with that, boys.
No.
There's different makes.
Okay,
of cars?
you've never driven a car before.
Yeah, days of the week. No, I'm just.
Let's go with cities of the world. I think you guys can hang with that. Seth travels a lot. We talked
do my
about
best.
Yeah.
Is it just cities?
Any
or just
city.
Places.
No.
Cities.
Okay.
And hovels. And Tanzania.
I can't remember any of the places I was just
No,
in
okay, no,
Germany.
no,
That's what's fucked up.
How about I don't know.
Let's just do cities. Let's
Things
get a
that are
category.
up, things that are down, like Chinatown.
We could try cities.
Try cities.
Give it a shot.
Okay, fine. You guys want cities?
2
Let's
minutes
do
on the
it.
clock.
And
This
whoever
is,
wants to start
Seth
off.
And, Seth and
No,
Mac.
you're on this side, dude.
No,
I hit
you're
your
playing.
side?
You're playing, buddy.
No, it's you two.
Oh, it's you two then.
Oh, it's
okay.
us
I
too?
want to see this.
Oh, he doesn't
We're
want
not gonna do
cities.
cities.
Can we do?
No.
Can we do movies or TV shows?
Yes, let's do TV shows.
TV shows.
Any TV show that's
Or
ever
can we just do
existed.
actors?
Yeah, I like that actually.
So we
God.
just
All
do
right,
actors?
Male actors. How
I'm
about
gonna.
that?
Okay.
I'll run
Male
out so
actors.
fast though.
You think?
We're doing it.
Don't
We're doing
you
it.
think?
Any
No.
male actor.
Male
Okay.
actor.
Bobby Jacoby,
Billy Baldwin.
David Sauer.
Stephen Baldwin,
Alec Baldwin.
Daniel Baldwin,
Adam Baldwin.
Zach Levi,
Adam Arkin.
Zach Quinto.
Alan Arkin.
What? Sean Connery,
Sean Penn.
Harrison Ford,
Oh, good one. Christopher Reeves.
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep.
Kevin Klein. That's not an actor.
Oh, we're classified
Male
by actor or
actors.
actor.
Yeah.
Male actor.
Male
LL Cool J.
Chris
LL
O'Donnell.
Cool J. No, I'm kidding.
Mark Harmon.
Mark.
Mark Harmon.
Okay. Mark Wahlberg.
Robert Carradine.
Robert De Niro.
David Carradine.
David De Niro. David Duchovny.
Burt Reynolds.
Bird. Ryan Reynolds.
God damn it.
I see what you're doing.
Oh,
I like it.
motherfucker. Sean Astin. God damn it.
Okay. Mackenzie Aston.
Breckin Meyer.
Mike Myers.
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Kieran Culkin.
Rory Culkin.
Fucking Culkins. Malcolm McDowell.
Fresh out of Calkins.
Emma Roberts. Oh, fuck. I did it again. I said,
Did another girl.
Tyrese.
Yep.
Vin Diesel.
Paul Walker.
Paul Reiser.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Mooney.
Adam Scott.
Adam, Scott Bairstow.
Scott Baio.
Scott Bakula.
John Barenthal.
Who?
John Barenthal.
Oh, all right. John Savage.
Uh,
John Barenthal and Tyrese.
John Amos.
Judd Nelson.
Judge Reinhold.
I love this.
Bill
alliteration.
Pullman.
John Astin.
Bill Paxton.
Eddie Murphy.
Richard Pryor.
Martin Lawrence.
Martin Short.
Chris Rock.
Chris. Fuck. Chris Isaac.
Robin Williams.
Oh man, good one. Remo Williams. Fred Ward.
John Travolta.
Frank Stallone.
You motherfuckers literally took that from my brain. Sylvester Stallone. I was teed up to say Frank Stallone. What the fuck?
Al Pacino.
David Faustino.
Nice.
Ed O'Neill.
Oh fuck. God damn it. I just can't. My brain. I don't know. It just like
just
popped
came in
for
your
a second.
brain?
I did a little bit. Emilio Estevez.
Ted McGinley.
Charlie Sheen.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Ted Levine.
Donald Sutherland.
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth Green.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil. Oh man, Ed Harris.
Jason Segel.
Jason Statham.
Martin Starr.
Jason Patrick.
I like your style.
Yeah,
I see what you're doing, and I like it.
Breckin. We should talk after.
This is so shitty. Denzel Washington.
Dolph Lundgren.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Isaiah Washington.
Isaiah Thomas.
You did, no, he's a basketball player.
Oh, he is? Richard Thomas.
He was in
Richard Gere.
Richard Roundtree.
Jason Alexander.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Michael Richards.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Patrick Warburton.
Motherfucker.
Patton Oswalt.
No, I just lost.
And time.
Patrick Duffy.
That was neck and
Patrick
neck.
Dempsey. That's what I was looking for.
Nice comeback there, Breckin.
Beautiful,
too.
guys.
Yeah.
That's how this game is played.
Yeah, we have to come up with a name for it. Yeah, I like clockwise though. But yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's what it sounds like when you guys play it.
Jesus Christ. Sweaty as fuck.
Stressful.
I work up a sweat
stressful
playing this
moment
game.
ever day.
Seth's all flush.
Stressful.
Well, thank you, boys. That was
Yeah.
basically what we do here on Bunny Ears.
That's it.
Nice episode.
Would you like to
Thanks,
do? Was
guys.
there anything else you want to
Is
do?
there anything else you want to say?
I
You want a freestyle rap?
Yeah, you want to plug Idle Hands again?
Should everyone check
Idle
it?
Hands Criterion Collection is coming out now. It comes with a souvenir hand.
Me
By the way,
and,
I will say this about. Sorry, go ahead.
we did commentary for it. Me and Eldon and the director Rob.
Idle Hands?
Yeah, we did commentary for it.
Every
Eldon, wait, is the dude you're with Foggy Nelson?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I never put that together.
Oh, he's the best.
That's awesome.
There was during Idle Hands. That was an audition that everybody and their mother auditioned for, and the audition was you just pretending that your fucking hands
That was the worst,
attacking you.
man.
So it was just embarrassing. You know, you get into it and you're like, all right, I want to do it, but at the same time, there's 9 versions of you outside waiting to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And at one point, I think when we were doing Can't Hardly Wait, we were in the production office on the Sony lot, and somebody found a box of all the audition tapes.
Oh no.
For Idle
of Idle
Hands.
Hands. And we started watching. And one thing I noticed about myself is I can't watch other people's auditions because it makes me
Yeah.
feel awful and uncomfortable.
It's made me a better. It's made
Like
me
watching
better at
their
auditioning.
like private sex tapes.
yeah, you just feel like this is too vulnerable.
Which
I
would
can't,
make you
I
better
can't
at
do
sex.
this. But you saw
All
every,
sound
you know,
logic.
every 90s actor under the sun doing the same damn "my hand's attacking me" thing.
Well, and even worse, in the original
Those are
draft that
amazing
they
tapes.
auditioned the girls with, the girls had like the infection on their tongue at one point. Do you remember that?
No.
All the girls had to like
Pretend their
act like they've got
tongue's
the seeds
attacking.
of evil in their tongue, and they're like, it's
Yeah,
insane.
so it was
Saw a
not.
bunch
It
of
was
those.
every now and then you get an audition where either it's driving a car, physically it's a fight scene, and you're like, I can't punch the casting director.
Like crying over somebody dying in
right?
a
and
battlefield.
it's based physical activity,
or
and Idle
like
Hands was the
resisting
ultimate-
rape or something.
Yeah, and this was the ultimate version of that.
If only someone could get their hands on their hands, no pun intended, on that box.
Their Idle
Their
Hands
free
on it.
hand.
There's a YouTube supercut in the
I feel like
Yeah.
Devin's
Oh, yeah.
audition is on the DVD.
Probably. That would
so.
make sense.
See, still
We'll
plugging
save
it.
it. We'll
Love
save it for the fight.
Loves that movie. Seth,
Fucking
that's
love
the only
that
movie
movie.
Seth has a genuine gross point on, so he likes he wants to plug it as much as he can.
No, we just had a lot of fun on it.
Yeah.
Changeland, he's very hesitant to talk about, but Idle Hands.
Idle Hands.
It's not that I don't want to.
Hard
It's
sell.
not that I don't want to talk about it. I just realize I'm actually really awkward about it.
I know.
Well,
We
it's super
tease.
Like I get
personal, I
weird
would
feels
imagine.
when
Yeah,
people want
man.
to say, and then I just feel very vulnerable about it. You know what I mean?
I mean, your dick is out right now, so.
Why don't
Yeah,
you touch
but,
it?
but it's
Alright.
not
Literally.
hard. There they go. That's happening.
Your hands are so cool.
What's that measuring tape for?
And why is it tattooed on your dick?
Just wait.
Because it's a slide ruler.
Just wait, y'all. So, Seth, I mean, you got a billion things at all times. You got Robot Chicken, you got Supermansion. I mean, what are all? We're doing the pluggy type shit now. We're winding down.
Want
man.
to plug your Twitter? Or
Yeah,
your
dude.
Facebook or
What are all the things?
Well, we
We'll
started
be at
making a show.
the we'll be at the Chuckle Hut
Right.
in San Dimas this Saturday.
Our new band, Belly Laugh.
Come on down.
Yeah, Breckin and I are working out a tight 5 on the Metro Rail.
Pretty great. It's pretty great. It's pretty funny.
You know, what's the deal with this line?
What is
that's
the thing
run,
with these cards?
Parallel, but they never intersect with each other.
You guys seen this La Cienega
Has anybody seen that construction? Is it ever going to end? Am I right? Huh? A couple of years now. What? How long does this take? Huh?
Anyway, what else?
I
What
mean,
else?
if
Who
the-
here's not a town?
What else are you plugging?
Okay, anyhow. What else? What else is going on?
I'll be doing
What's
a
in the
signing
news?
at the Barnes and Noble down.
What's in the news? North Korea's crazy, huh?
And you know what? When the show comes out, they might not be crazy anymore. So
Yeah, that's fair. Wait, Matt,
we
did
can
you ever
hope.
do? You never did stand up, did
I
you?
never did. No, I did like.
Did you ever do stand up?
I did
Might
every
be
other
yesterday. You know me.
form.
You ever come down and see me on stage?
I've seen you on stage a bunch of times. I don't
Obviously
feel like I've
not.
ever seen you
No,
do
I've
stand
never
up though.
done
Did that just rip out of your ear?
No, I just
He
took it
just
out.
committed
I
to
did
it.
improv. Did you ever, did
he's
you ever
done.
do stand up?
Fuck this noise.
Did you ever do any stand up?
I did stand up when I was 14 for like a year. For like a year, yeah.
What would you remember any of your jokes?
It was all like
What's the deal with being a redhead?
it was all like kid-based stuff. It was
Icicles,
kid-based
am
stuff
I right?
about
Yeah.
LA, about like parenting, about like weird stuff. I had a joke about the toilet seat cover law getting passed in Los Angeles and how foolish and stupid this was because you put a toilet seat cover down on a shit-covered toilet. It's really not going to do the trick.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Killed
It was pretty hard hitting
So your
stuff.
your Netflix special is coming soon.
I would. Well, I realized really quickly. I was like, "Oh, this isn't for me, is it?" Because very difficult. Stand up is such a skill, such a talent, and then you also have to really be committed to it. And I tried to write new stuff every time I went up. I didn't understand the concept of working.
You
out
got a
routine.
special coming out on Netflix. The Seth is always greener.
Wow. This Seth is always green.
I'm gonna steal.
We can
that.
pitch that, guys. They're spending like $7 million this
Yeah,
year or
let's do it.
something.
I'm not a good stand-up though. I don't think anybody would like
Nah, you'd be
come to
great.
see me.
Doesn't matter, man.
Now let's do it anyway.
Just
Now
do
who
it.
gives a shit?
All systems go. You heard it here
Let's
first.
just do it.
folks. But Robot Chicken's on TV and Supermention. You got some new show premiering this year that SBS did, right? Or-
Well, Hot Streets.
Hot Streets.
Hot Streets started airing, and Supermention is airing, and we're doing a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So Google it, guys.
And be on the lookout for Changeland. We'll certainly talk about it here first, Warren. So we'll let you know when and where and all the important.
And Warren, I just want to say thanks so much for your letters and comments. It looks like you handmade this. It's beautiful, so thank you.
The fact that you guys preemptively guessed that we would have Seth Green on the show and made him a bunch of hand quilted goods and sundry baskets.
And just
This
hit
looks
off his
very-
Twitter, like just blanket him with comments.
This looks very fragile. I'm gonna protect it.
Be careful
Thanks,
with it.
Warren.
we have a lot of blown glass fans.
And you're on Twitter at Seth
Lots of
at
glass
Seth
blowers.
Green on all the things, right?
Yeah, I really just do Twitter and Instagram. I don't really do Facebook or any
Yeah, those are the
other stuff.
Bracken, you were on a TV show now, right? Whoa. Are you
Oh,
not?
I'm doing the Kiefer
Whoa.
Sutherland show.
Yeah, I was like, wait a
Yeah,
minute, what just
sorry.
happened to that?
Yes.
I love the
Designated
idea of you and
Survivor.
Kiefer Sutherland playing brothers,
Yeah.
and I also love
Yep.
that you are like relatable to Matthew McConaughey and Kiefer Sutherland. People are like, oh yeah, they clearly look related. Clearly, Breckin and Matthew McConaughey are
Yeah.
brothers from the same parents.
Yep, me and
You and Kiefer are the same parents.
yeah, perfect. We were a perfect match.
I just picture you
Match.
two in a scene together. What is he in this? He's the president.
I think he's the president.
Hey, good to see you. I love
I love how I think.
Wait, what's your character's name in it?
Trey.
It would go like this. Hey, good to see you, Trey. Do I have to call you Mr. President now? No, that's
much-
okay. Give me a hug.
pretty much
Bring it
what
in,
it is.
brother.
Yeah, it's two gravelly guys just graveling their way through the
Out
White House.
intensing each other.
Yeah, just out graveling each
The
other.
situation is dire. You think I don't understand that?
Shoot one of them. I can't tell the part. I can't tell the difference.
Which one is the real
Which one's
president?
the real president?
This is great. I want to see it so bad.
What's that called, man?
Designated survivor.
All right, cool. So-
Yes. And I'm Seth Green on Twitter and Seth Green on Instagram.
But
the
incidentally,
real Seth Green.
incidentally, Macaulay Culkin on Facebook.
Yeah, that's exactly right. On Facebook, I'm
Macaulay
Matt
Culkin 1311.
Just to keep people on their toes. Awesome, guys. And Mac, you are nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, sure, whatever.
The
Plus
usual.
Shaw.
But the one place you are is on Twitter at Bunny Ears Pod, where you are known to tweet from time to time.
Sure. Yeah. I can do that.
You or your elected representative.
Yeah. No. Look at me now, Dad.
Your
I can do
minions.
it.
Exactly. And you can hit us up on email at it's bunnyearspod@gmail.com. And I don't know why I threw the .com in there. I don't think I've ever done that.
.com.
It's HTTP.
Backslash.
Dial up, and then you get onto AOL. Browse through the entertainment
Prodigy.
section first.
Does anybody under 13 even know what any of that means?
No, they don't know what a pound sign is. They call it a hashtag.
Hashtag, yeah.
I've seen.
Well, they're just becoming British. They've been calling that hash
It's a
forever.
metric system.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going all metric.
I knew it would happen one day.
This should be the one all metric podcast.
You heard it here. We're the podcast pushing the one world currency. Everybody,
We also
signing up for that global government.
We also start doing it in Esperanto. We're late adopters to everything, but we are also on Instagram at Bunny Ears Podcast, on Facebook at Bunny Ears Pod. Subscribe to us on YouTube, and you can call us, guys. Give us a shout. The phone number is 845-EZE-HOAX. That's 845-393-4629. Leave a voicemail. Maybe we'll play it at the end of the show. And also, bunnyears.com, March 1st. Big stuff happening, so get ready, y'all. And you can hit me up on the things at Camel Toad. And that is another episode.
Don't forget to purchase your Bombas socks.
Yeah.
And I guess whatever.
Yeah, what do we leave him with, Mac?
Pearls of wisdom.
Yeah,
what's our pearl of wisdom, buddy?
Try not to suck too much dick, and if you do, send some pics, because we'll repost them.
You're just gonna get like
You're
a
gonna get
gangload of
pics.
pics.
That's why we're doing this
I'm not
podcast,
even
guys.
asking for it. People send me pics all the time.
We're not in it for that Bombas money. You know what I'm saying? Goodbye.
See you, Warren.
Find me, gag me, take me to the bunny ranch.
Hey guys, my name is Wilma, and I'm calling from the Dominican Republic just to tell you that I love the podcast. It's like sitting in a living room talking with my weird friends, and it's amazing. Keep up the good work. Woohoo!
Hey, Mac, how's it going? For the last time, my name's not fucking Warren, but I do enjoy the podcast. As a fellow child of the early 80s, it's great to hear a podcast that references shit like Toe Jam and Earl and the amazing commercial for the board game Crossfire, of all things. So keep up the good work, and talk to you later. Bye.
Hey, you bunny motherfuckers, this is Devin Sawa. I'm gonna come after you and wring your necks with my cold, idle hands. And I am going to be your final destination and turn you into a ghost. That is right, Casper is gonna turn you into a ghost, bitches. Love your show, by the way. Bye.
Hey, honey, I just wanted to say that your body is a masterpiece. Okay, bye.
Hey, Matt, do you like reach-arounds?
Please define what you mean by reach around.
Well, it takes someone with really long arms to reach all the way around and do some jiggering
House
with
cleaning?
your D.
Oh, my door?
With your door.
Like my key, if my key is broken on my door?
Your downstairs door.
I don't have, California, the basements are rare here because of like the soil or something.
No, I'm talking about your D. I'm talking about your penis.
What about my penis?
Well, MackWeldon.com. If you want stuff wrapped around your D.
Oh, you mean Mack Weldon, like underwear and awesome like silver and antimicrobial boxers and stuff like that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So if you like reach-arounds.
If you like reach-arounds, head to MackWeldon.com. Mack Weldon, I'm sorry. Head to MackWeldon.com and get 20% off your purchase using promo code EARS. That's EARS.
How do you spell that again?
EARS. How do you spell reach-around? REACHA.
MACK.
There you go,
Weldon.
folks. Go to MackWeldon.com. Get reached around. We love you guys. Please come back to us.
Yeah, please keep
We
being
like
our
the free
sponsors.
stuff. Yeah.